Yeah. We got to pivot, though. We got our guests waiting in the queue, and Chris Rose is going to be brought to us today by Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV could also be an Xbox? Turn any TV into a gaming and entertainment hub with the Fire TV Stick 4K device. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass's Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports, College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It is gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is required. Available on select devices, including the Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome Chris Rose to the show. Chris, how you doing today?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good.
Awesome, Chris. Good to have you, man.
It's good to be here. Yeah, Ty Jerome, listen, he might say that he loves Cleveland, and I'm sure he does. I think he probably also likes money. Yeah. So wherever that is, and that's perfectly fine. Dude has earned it. A year ago, we were all wondering, like, how the heck is this ankle injury that bad where he's kept him out all but about 2 games? And now he has become must-watch TV for us, and he's going to be a huge part of whatever we do starting on Sunday.
Yeah, Mike and I have gone round and round throughout the year on what happens with him this offseason. There's not many teams that can offer him the type of money. The Cavs can be competitive. I think this is his one shot to cash in. Like, he's got to take the best deal, whether it's Cleveland or elsewhere. He has to take the best financial deal because this is probably his one and only chance to really cash in on that. Other teams, I think, can offer more money in more years, but it'll be close. It'll be curious to see what he does.
Yeah, if it's close, then, yeah, maybe the heartstrings pull. And listen, this has been a wonderful ride. They are as likable a team as there is in this league.
Yes.
And they're a fun watch. You know, when the ball's moving around the way that it did, certainly the first 2/3 of the season, I think they got a little tired and a little bored the back third of the year. And that's okay. I have no qualms with it. I am rooting hard for Atlanta, I will admit. But then again, my oldest son, who's a huge Cavs fan, he and I were speaking, and he said that if we can't beat an 8 seed anyway, what does it really matter? We shouldn't be living like Cleveland scared, which is part of our vernacular, unfortunately.
It's funny, you're hitting on a topic we're doing on the WKYC show, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. Atlanta is the play. And it's not necessarily even can you or can you not beat Miami. It's the pound of flesh that Miami will extract from you over the course that they just beat Milwaukee. And I understand Giannis had the back, but they just took out a top seed as an 8 seed a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You want no part of Miami. They've got that Spoelstra championship DNA. Stick with Atlanta, and I think they'll have an easier time.
Yeah, yes. We don't have anything to do with it, though. So
right.
I guess my point is this, is that if we're going to sit here and worry about Spoelstra being able to design and motivate, and they do have guys from at least an NBA Finals run from a few years ago that are still poor, then the question is going to be, can Evan Mobley consistently hit open threes? Because we know that's going to be the defense that teams play. They're going to say, okay, you improved significantly during the regular season. Now, when it's not January 17th and the other team's playing 4 games in 5 nights, can you hit this when the money's on the table? I mean, that's certainly how I would defend Cleveland. And I'm anxious to see what he's got.
Chris, are you more excited about the draft or the start of the playoffs for the Cavs?
I mean, listen, the draft is 48 hours of fun, and then we'll move on. I mean, hopefully by then the Cavs are up 2-0.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping. So the good news is that I'm actually doing the draft coverage on Thursday and Friday, and I won't have to spend my mental Cleveland energy. Now, if we're 1-1 headed back to either Miami or Atlanta on Thursday, I might be a little pissed off when I'm hosting the show on Thursday.
Right.
So we'll just have to tune in and see.
Is there anything, Chris, you're looking to see in this opening series for the Cavs? I mean, in terms of do they need to sweep? Do they gotta be a gentleman's sweep? Do we have to make it look easy? What if they're tested? What if it goes 7 games? Like, is there anything that concerns you at all about this series, regardless of who they play?
Going 7 games would really concern me.
Yeah.
Because we did that last year, and the next round we didn't have anything, and we didn't have any players. So that does concern me. I don't care if it's 4 or 5. Get it done. Look efficient. Sharpen, your tool shed a little bit, because like I said, it just down the stretch, it didn't look great. And that's okay. I mean, you're not going to look perfect for 82 games. For the first 2/3 of this year, it was unlike anything I had ever seen out of this franchise before. But, we all dream of winning a second NBA championship. We all have the discussion, well, what would still make it a successful season? Would losing to Boston in the Eastern Conference Final be okay? What happens if we do get eliminated in a 7-game semifinal? Are we going to have to blow it up? Like, there's a lot of stuff floating around in our heads just because of the sports scar tissue that revolves around every Cleveland sports fan.
Is Travis Hunter the pick?
Yeah, to me it is.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And number one, I get it. I've had a lot of friends that, whether they're Browns fans or just NFL fans, say your quarterback situation is still kind of messy. Why wouldn't you go for the second best quarterback? Well, I look at it this way. There's certain evaluators and draft analysts that and Cam Ward 7th or 8th overall. I can understand paying the premium when you're at 1 and you need a quarterback like Tennessee does. I don't think you can necessarily move a guy up from 20 or 21 overall in this draft to number 2. Not when there's quarterbacks who might be sitting at 34, 35 in terms of ranking the best overall prospects available. I just think that the play is get Hunter at 2, and if you feel good, then you go get a guy at 33. And you know what? If you don't, you go get him in the 3rd round. And because, guys, I've done some research on this. Since 2016, the only quarterbacks that have made it in the NFL when not being drafted on night 1 are Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy. That's it. There have been a ton of quarterbacks drafted in round 2 and beyond, and they just haven't made it. So the odds of whomever we take at 33, I'm not saying they can't make it, but the odds aren't great. Whereas it's basically a coin flip for a first rounder, right? If there's 4 guys taken in the first round, half the guys will make it. Maybe one guy will be elite, MVP caliber. One guy will be really good. And then 2 guys will be switching teams before their rookie contract is up. That's just the way it's gone over the last 8 or 9 years.
Is there anybody in the first round that could slide that you would consider trading back up for from 33?
I don't think this team can afford to trade up. I think you got to hold on. We've got 4 picks in the top 97, I believe. I think we got to utilize them. I just think that there's depth, a ton of depth in this draft when it comes to running backs, tight ends, interior offensive linemen, and defensive tackles in particular. And I think that there are some areas of need there, right? I mean, we need we need a running back, in my opinion. And I think guys can be found in the 2nd and 3rd rounds that can play immediately and help us out a ton. I still think, I know we've added some guys along the defensive line, but it wouldn't bother me to take another defensive tackle somewhere in those top 4 picks. And we will be taking a quarterback in the top 3 picks, I would think. And 33, it just wouldn't shock me.
Seeing the Buckeyes on the screen there, obviously it's exciting, and they have so many guys. They could break that record of 15 players drafted this year. We asked a question, Mikey did to us earlier, if the Browns don't take a Buckeye in this draft, is it disappointing? And I said no. You never know how this thing's going to fall, but it would be nice because, I mean, Ohio State players have been the last, decade, have been all pretty darn good, including Denzel Ward, who we did draft here.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not how you draft. This isn't your fantasy team. This is a reality team. And so Andrew Berry went to Harvard. He has 0 allegiance to Ohio State. Kevin Stefanski went to Penn. I mean, good football players do come out of Ohio State, and that's why you would pick them. It has nothing to do with the fact they had Buckeyes on their helmets. That is utterly preposterous.
I guess my only take is my thought, Chris. Sorry to cut you off, Chris. But my only thought is, Ohio State is such a close proximity that they could be. You would think they would have more information maybe than other teams on these players, and if there is somebody that they like, they should. I mean, they would be privy to maybe more information. That's my thought.
I mean, yes, the proximity thing I get, but I mean, it's really the connections you have in college football, right? These guys have certain pipelines and people, evaluators that they trust, and people that work at schools. That's the way I would look at that. Now, it will be fun for Buckeye fans. It is the part where football worlds collide, right? There are some football fans that are strictly NFL fans, and there are some football fans that are strictly college football fans. There are a bunch, however, who mesh. And then everybody comes together for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because you want to see, if you're a college fan, where your dudes end up. And then, obviously, NFL, you want to know whose jersey I might be able to buy over the next several years. So that's the fun part. And listen, the Buckeyes are going to – I don't know what number it's going to be, but they're going to have a ton of dudes taken in the first 2 rounds.
Bigger surprise so far, Gabby Arias or Tanner Bibee? For far different reasons.
Sorry, you cut out on the first one before Tanner Bibee.
Gabby Arias, for far different reasons. Who's been a bigger surprise for the Guardians, Arias or Tanner Bibee?
Good question. I like Arias' approach right now. I mean, he finally looks like a major league hitter. The fact he was hitting 4th last night, I think, actually says more about our lineup than maybe about Arias. But I am pleasantly surprised with that. I do think they're starting him at his 3rd best defensive position on most nights. I don't see him as a second baseman. I'm not sure about his range because we haven't seen him enough at shortstop, but I think he would be a great 3rd baseman. Rumor has it we already have one that's pretty good over there, so I know that that's not part of the equation. But I don't think Rocchio is – I don't think he's 100% entrenched at shortstop. I just don't. And I think if Arias continues to hit – and if Juan Brito continues to do his thing, and we know we're just keeping the seat warm at second base for Pizzana anyway at some point down the line, I don't think that's as soon as some people in Cleveland would hope. But, I think Arias has proven that he can still be a part of this franchise moving forward. I don't know what's going on with Tanner Bibee. He is missing location horribly. They got to get him going because we cannot have him throwing the way that he did last night and expect to win on a consistent basis, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. I'm not saying anything that wouldn't come out of his mouth. I'm sure he is extremely disappointed with the way that the season has started.
Yeah, I don't think it's unrealistic that Arias is the everyday shortstop by July. I wouldn't know if I'd sit here and predict it, but the way he's hitting, the way Rocchio runs the bases is infuriating. I don't understand what he's looking at half the time. Defensively, he's fine for the most part. I think Arias can hold the spot at shortstop. He was supposed to be the guy. They gave him every opportunity early on, and when he just refused to take it, then they gave it to Rocchio. But I think Pizzana could be here this summer. You said you think it'd be longer than people think. I think June or July, if he continues to hit, move him to Buffalo in a couple of weeks, and I think by June or July, if he continues to hit, he could be here. Do you think that's too soon?
I do. He played a really short season last year. And I know that there's a lot of guys that feel like there's a guy named Nolan Schanuel who's a first baseman for the Angels. He was up a couple months, maybe a month after he was drafted. I think that's ridiculous because I do think that guys need some time in the minor leagues. And I would say closer to like 2/3 of a season. I am worried about this team. It feels like an 80 to 82 win team. It's hard to rely on having 4 guys out of your bullpen throw 70 games and each have an ERA under 2 for consecutive years. That is not something you want to build your franchise on. And we just don't have enough dependable players. We have an everyday outfielder who's consistent. We have one guy at third who's great. We have a pro first baseman. And then to me, everything else is up for grabs. I mean, I think Austin Hedges deserves to play more than once or twice a week right now. Everybody jokes, but he is putting together. Watch his at-bats, people. Watch his at-bats. He had good at-bats yesterday, and Bo ain't doing you-know-what, diddly, I guess.
It's incredible that at this stage of his – I don't know if this is just a hot streak for Hedges. I don't know if he figured something out. But you're right. Like he's been a punchline on this show for years about how terrible he's been offensively. But, I mean, right now, he's finding the barrel.
Well, those are people that ripped on us bringing back Austin Hedges don't understand the construction of a baseball team. And I get it. Like, you're like, well, why'd we spend $4 million on that guy? Well, when he wasn't here, we didn't make the playoffs. When he's been here, we make the playoffs.
Yeah.
People don't see what he does. Now, he has to hit better than 160. That's unacceptable. And I consider him a friend of mine, right? He was a regular on the Chris Rose rotation, and he knows that. He knows that wasn't good enough. So what he has to do is it's okay for him to hit 200 and put together good at-bats. And that's what I'm seeing this year is he's putting together better at-bats.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned the Cavs earlier, and I agree with your son. If the Cavs struggle with either 8 seed, it'd be an issue. But when you look at the big picture for the Cavs and their playoff run here, do you consider them legitimate title threats to Boston? And if those two are the two teams that meet in an Eastern Conference Finals, do you have a lean this early? I know we're a month away, but do you have a lean on which team you'd pick in that series?
No, just because we don't know who's going to be healthy and all that sort of stuff. But I was there for the early February loss against Boston, and I watched it pretty closely. They were a tough matchup for us physically. That was a night that in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a guy that can defend. That's a guy that can extend the floor. He's got a really nice mid-range game. I like everything about that trade. By the way, I'm rooting for Atlanta just for a couple of reasons. Number one, obviously, we talked about Miami, but I want to see Yang come back. I think he would play the villain to a perfect role, and I hope that people would give those two guys that we traded to Atlanta in that trade a lot of love if they come back.
I think they would.
Did you see the Instagram exchange between Ty Jerome and George Niang the other day about that?
No, I did not. I missed that.
Good? It was very good. George tweeted out something like, "We're playoff ready," and Ty said, "Nah, you don't want to come here." And then George responded saying, "You literally told the GM to trade me for your best friend. Like, shut up. Don't talk about it." So, yes, I am along the same lines of very much rooting for a chance for George and Karras to come back here and play the Cavs in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be great. I would love it. I'm excited. I mean, it feels like it's been months since we've played a game that has meant anything. So, I mean, it might be a little slow going early on Sunday, but, hopefully things will heat up by quarter 2.
All right.
What else you want to talk about, Chris?
I was waiting. What else we got?
We're all like, I think we kind of hit everything.
I am kind of curious. Does anybody in that city want Shedora too?
Oh yeah.
Boy, I mean,
yeah.
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 One of them's on the set right now.
Who, me?
Are you officially off the Shedeur train, G?
Have you not been watching me metamorphosize into the Travis Hunter over the last 2 weeks?
I thought that was just a shield.
No, listen, hey, Travis Hunter, man, listen, this is Travis Hunter move, bro. Now listen, I tried to get Chris to jump back in. I said, listen, now if Shedeur happens to be there after 15, I tried to warm the seat up for you, Chris, but you say, nah, I'm staying at 33. I don't want no parts of that.
If you like him at 15, take him at 2.
I hear
that.
Right.
I think that's the cutoff line. If you would take him in the top half of the draft of the first round, then I would take him at 2. If you don't, if you think he's the 23rd best prospect, then I would say no. And it really is dependent on where you have these other guys ranked, whether that's Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Jalen Milroe, any of the next grouping of quarterbacks. If you have
All right, Chris, I appreciate it. Lost the audio there at the very end, so we're gonna. Oh, there it is. Now it's
Hear me?
Now I got you.
Now we got
Got it
you.
back.
got you.
Yep.
All right, we're good.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
The
Thanks,
point
Chris.
is that the Browns should not pull a Mike Ditka and trade all their picks for Ricky Williams. So
I'm with you there.
Agree.
Yeah,
We're
let's-
with you there.
Yeah. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We good.
Chris, you said you're on the NFL Network for the draft on the first 2 nights.
Yes. So a 3-hour pregame show starting at 4 o'clock Cleveland time on Thursday, and I think at 4 o'clock as well on Friday. So we'll get you all set, and we'll send it out to Rich and the guys in Green Bay,
Nice.
which should be an interesting look.
What's the weather?
Yeah.
What's the weather in Green Bay this weekend? Do you know? Or next
Well,
week?
you know what? I haven't paid attention because I'll be doing the pre-show from Los Angeles.
Oh,
So it'll be
you're good.
It'll be 72 and sunny.
Yeah,
in
right.
LA. I haven't even looked at the weather, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, you got
According
nothing
to
to worry about.
weather.com, it'll be 60 degrees next Thursday. So
Oh, nice.
Oh.
All right.
low of
kidding me?
45.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Ideal.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got on your phone? Anything interesting? Dustin?
No, Dustin's got ADD. He's
No,
all over the place.
no, nothing interesting. Nothing
Tennis
interesting.
matches.
Gotta make
Ten,
sure
just
we're all good.
just Barcelona. Tennis.
Barcelona. What?
Tennis.
Tennis.
Okay. All right.
He was like,
Sorry.
he's like, I'm checked out. He's tennis. He's like, nah, I don't do tennis, bro.
All right, Chris.
No,
we
I did.
appreciate you. Thank you
All right,
very
guys,
much for
thanks.
making some time,
you,
and we'll
Chris.
talk to you soon.